Pastor Ted here, and just got a couple of things I want to read to you tonight. It's been a busy week. A good week, but a busy week. Busy week. And actually a very good week. As you can see, the pictures that are kind of scrolling around behind, kind of, maybe they'll cause some controversy. Maybe somebody may say, yeah, that's all right, but most of you who know me since I've been up here know that I'm not fond of drugs, the abuse of drugs, not fond of alcohol. I've watched it ruin too many lives, including the first 30 years or 32 years of my life before I quit. And now it's been going on 26 years since I quit. But although this week was a busy week and it was a good week, it was a great week in that we had the opportunity to help a young man from town who makes no bones about it, who struggled for 7 or 8 years since he was around here. Some of you are going to know who that is. I'm not going to tell you his name. Some of you already know, but for the others, the name doesn't matter, but the situation does. Situation is that you had a young guy come to town 7, 8 years ago, and over the last years, it's just got worse and worse until the fact that he couldn't sustain even a lifestyle anymore, and to the point where he was ready to commit suicide last week. Sad as it is, that's the reality of what drugs and alcohol will do. Lethal combination, and I'm not just talking about smoking a little weed, I'm talking about coke and things, but it was progressive, and he would tell you that when he started at 13, when he sat here with me the other night and told me when he started at 13, they told him that it wouldn't lead to anything else, that it wouldn't get worse, he wouldn't get hooked, he wouldn't progress. It wasn't a gateway. That wasn't. Well, you know what? He's lost 8 years of his life, but now he says he's ready to change. So he came broken. We'd offered the opportunity. I had messaged him and said, "Hey man, if you want to talk, give me a call, message me," and he said, yeah, I want to. And I didn't hear from him for a week. And then the other night, he messaged me and said, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. One way or the other, I'm getting out. So I went and looked for him where he said he was. He wasn't there. Then eventually I found him, and a buddy of his dropped him off up here. And it's sad. He was wasted. But you know what? He would be happy to tell you now that he's got 4 days under his belt where he hasn't been using anything, and that he can now start to see the light of day again. Now, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but he came to us broken and said, I want to go home. I want to go home. So I said, where's home? So his home is down south, so we didn't have any other opportunity to find a way for him. So Wednesday morning, I jumped in the car and I took him. You know, we drove 12 hours and got him down. He had a rough ride, but it was good. And I was talking to him again this morning, and he said, I want to change. So we know that I've set him up with a couple of buddies of mine down there that live close to him to be able to give him some guidance. He's got a family that he's going to be able to work with. And so when you look at these pictures and you see that stuff, that's reality. And that's here in one thing. And if you're not ready to accept the fact that it's here, perhaps you will be like that slide that has your head buried in the sand, like an ostrich. Don't do it. Don't bury your head. Don't pretend it isn't here. Don't pretend that we don't have problems here, because we do, and big ones. I'm not just talking about smoking a little weed and then having a few drinks. You've got big problems. We have big problems. And you know what? I'm going to say that, thank God, this is one guy that has a second chance or a third chance. I don't know how many, but he now has a new chance to be able to do something. Now, did he give his life to Christ? No. But you know what? He now has an opportunity to make a decision of what he wants to do for the rest of his life. You know that it's not going away. It's going to get worse before it gets better unless we band together and look to see how can we stop it. And I tell you all the time, you've heard me say over and over again, even when they trashed my truck 2 years ago, now it's 2 years since they beat my truck up, almost 2 years. But you know something? I said then, and I'll say it again now, our battle is not against the user, it's not against the abuser, it's not against the pusher, it's not against the dealer, it's against the devil. The devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. God's word tells us the devil only comes to steal, kill, destroy. God comes to give life and life more abundantly. We have that opportunity to be able to share life, to be able to support people, to be able to do that. So, our battle, again, it's not against flesh and blood. It tells us that, we read in Ephesians in chapter 6, it says, finally be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. That's our battle. It's not against the guy who was using it. It's not against even the one that sold it to him, the one that was making it for him. It really doesn't matter. Our battle is against the devil, and we need to stand united. You know, I may be new to horn paint, but I'm not new to ministry, and I'm not new to the fact that the devil works and destroys. So for us, for God, yeah, there was a bit of a victory this week. But will we stop? No. Why? Because Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9 says, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So we're not going to quit trying to save one life at a time from drugs, from alcohol, from abuse. Every opportunity we have to be able to feed into somebody's life. And again, it's not condemnation. It's how can we help you? How can we help you? So if you've got a friend, a family member, if you've got a buddy that you know is hurting, it's time to turn and help. You know, I talked to a guy this week and I said to him, I said, when's enough enough? And he knows he's got problems, but he said, not yet. Until he hits bottom, and everybody hits bottom in a different place, different time. And unfortunately, there's those that never hit bottom, and we lose them. I don't want to lose anymore. I don't want to lose anymore. I want there to be a victory. When we have the opportunity to just help one guy, one girl, one man, one woman, it's not an age thing. We've seen it. There's hurting families out there. Families that are using the food bank, unfortunately, because of lifestyle choices. There's lots of families who, because of circumstance that they did not bring on themselves, that need to help, a bit of help here and there. But when we have families that by lifestyle choices are using the food bank, they need help to change that lifestyle. And God is the answer. Jesus is the answer. We will help and do whatever we can to support them, to move them, to do whatever. You know, and like I say, the other day, there was no simple. The guy sleeps at the church, I have no choice. If I'd have left him the next day and thrown him out, he'd have been right back at it. His buddies would have found him and said, hey, come on, let's go, we can take care of that, no problem. You can pay me next week. Or you sell 3 more bags and I'll take care of you. He wanted to go home, so we got him home. Plain and simple, he has a chance for a fresh start. What he does with that chance, that's out of my control. But in the meantime, he wanted that, we helped to provide that, and we're not bragging, I'm just telling you, the fact of life is that you, me, if we have an opportunity to help somebody, take it. we never know when we might need help. So, as I usually say, as we're getting ready to go, be blessed, be a blessing.